All right, time now for your morning beat, creating cultures of belonging in Hawaii. It's a concept that Honolulu Civil Beat's Naka Nathaniel explores in his new column. So Naka, what does that mean, a culture of belonging?
So culture of belonging. Belonging is one of these things that's like a human desire. It's one of our fundamental needs that we have, as humans, that we want to belong. And it's to different societies, different pieces. And this is one of the things, when people arrive here in Hawaii, if they embrace our Hawaiian values, they can belong to our culture. But we've had too many people that have come in recently that just have kind of kept things at a distance, haven't embraced those Hawaiian cultures. And so we're a little bit of an imbalance right now.
Yeah, it's an interesting conversation to have, because when you talk to transplants, they just have this different, way of thinking. And we always talk about aloha, don't we? But nowadays, just with how unequal everything is, it doesn't seem to be really practiced.
Yeah, and that's one of these things that I'm hoping that, we have tools that are available to us here in Hawaii, and actually some of them are legitimate laws. There's the spirit of aloha that exists. There's this law of the splintered paddle. There's these different elements that exist, and they've been used by the courts recently, just this past year. Things that were put into the state constitution back in 1978 are being now cited as part of case law, and it's really, really interesting.
Okay, well, how do we get to action? Because again, when you talk to Native Hawaiians who are having to move away, especially with Maui and everything happening with Lahaina, there's this feeling that the government is not supporting them. They do not belong, which is ironic because this is their homeland.
Right. And that's one of the difficult things that we're trying to wrap our heads around, right? There are more Hawaiians that are now living outside of Hawaii than in Hawaii. How can we curb that, right? And I think that's one of the things, if we go back to, okay, what does it mean for somebody to live in Hawaii? It's a true embrace of Hawaiian values. So as long as somebody is doing that, embracing those values, they should be here in Hawaii and embracing that. But that also means that this culture of belonging, right? Everyone is a part of this. That means that we're not pushing anyone. We're pulling in our elbows. That's one of the things, is that, sometimes, we have this, let's give me some little elbow space here. We got to pull those in sometimes.
We've been a little too accommodating, some would say.
Yeah. So I've had an uncle in particular, who's been like, we should have flipped it. Instead of welcoming in with our dancers, we should be more like the Maori, who, have their warriors out in front. And if you meet the challenge, welcome.
You have to earn the welcome, first you're faced with a lot of these, kind of the strength. Which we admire. Now, again, if there's one thing that anyone can do out there right now to embrace this culture of belonging, what would it be?
I would say it's food. So I have macadamia nut cookies, mac nuts from our tree out in our front yard.
Yay.
That we meet. So this is always my favorite thing, is food. Like, we just love sharing. Bring some food to, share with your neighbors. That's the #1 way. If I could say, culture of belonging, start here with the food.
And I agree. All right. Well, thank you so much, Naka Nathaniel there. Always good to have you on the show. And again, you can read Naka's full column on civilbeat.org, or you can text 66866 to get their newsletter. This is really good. Thanks for baking it for us.
Sure thing.
You're watching Sunrise. We'll be right back.